Has this latest news report just dropped a big hint over the future of Erik ten Hag? Now, what we do know is no matter who is the next manager of United, INEOS are going to be taking over the recruitment and footballing side of things, which will work with ten Hag, which will work for Tuchel. And INEOS want to do a brutal clear out. They want to sell a lot of players. Not many players are safe. 12 out, 6 in is what I'm thinking realistically. And we're going to get into the news quickly and this latest report about Steve McLaren and ten Hag's future. And then we're going to talk about what INEOS should do this summer, no matter who the manager is. 6 players that they could bring in, 12 that they could get out realistically, and how United can push on and get back on track for next summer. So please do stay tuned for this video because I've put quite a bit of work in, a bit of research, and I think this is a really good informing video towards the end. But I do want to get the news out of the way first, and then I will get into the other stuff. And of course, hit that like button, subscribe down below, give me 10 minutes of your time. Let's get into it. So I want to get into a report by Disco Mirror and then Malik of the Mirror. So these were the 2 reports quickly on Steve McLaren, which could be a clue over ten Hag's future. Erik ten Hag and his staff face an uncertain future at Old Trafford, but Steve McLaren's relationship with Dave Brailsford could see him. McLaren is regarded as someone who INEOS can continue to work with in any new managerial regime. McLaren is seen as a safe pair of hands, and it was even mooted that he could replace ten Hag as manager for the final games of the season until Ratcliffe decided to stick with the Dutchman with the FA Cup final looming. So, there was a potential that ten Hag was sacked and it was McLaren to the end of the season, but I think INEOS just thought there's really no point in that. Look at the injuries, look at the attitude of these players. I don't think anyone's going to get a tune out of them. It was then said today, breaking, Steve McLaren is expected to remain at Man United next season, even if ten Hag is sacked. He is regarded as someone who INEOS can continue to work with in any new managerial regime. Now, Benny McCarthy's not staying on. Mitchell van der Gaard's not staying on. They're not getting their contract renewed, despite good news around Benny McCarthy, which could suggest ten Hag is gone. These coaches with ten Hag's coaches, they're going with him. But Steve McLaren is staying. And they're saying Steve McLaren is the only of the coaches staying because he's the only one, that they see that can work with another manager. So could that suggest that INEOS have decided we're going with another manager, and that's why these coaches are going, but Steve McLaren is staying, but we're not saying anything on ten Hag's future until the end of the season? Just a hunch. However, Steve McLaren's staying because they plan to keep ten Hag next season and they want one of his coaches staying. You can look at it either way. Now, one thing we do know is that Thomas Tuchel would love to go to United, and he really likes the idea of this new INEOS regime where he will be working with a hierarchy that can do the footballing side of things and he can focus on coaching. Now, in my opinion, I think with the injuries, I think with the player power issues, I would like INEOS to back ten Hag just to see what ten Hag could do with good recruitment under a good hierarchy to see if ten Hag can succeed. But I think the way that INEOS have laid it out, if they do sack ten Hag and they're doing the footballing things and they're changing the environment, they're doing recruitment, I think their recruitment won't be very different whether ten Hag's the next manager or Tuchel's the next manager. Which brings me into really wanting to talk about the summer. I wanted to dive into news quickly, get that out of the way, but I really want to talk about the ins and the outs that United could do this summer based off the information we know and then based off partly what I would do. Now, the information we know is that Varane, Martial, Heaton, Evans and Amrabat and Williams will all leave this summer. They're free, out of contract, and that will be £44 million in wages saved. United's priority is to sell Sancho and Greenwood, which would bring in about 70 million. Casemiro would probably bring in an additional 30 million. Lindelof and Wan-Bissaka 15 million each. Maybe Mejbri, Pellistri, Alvaro, Donny, Eriksson, bring in a little bit of money. And adding that all up, that's 165 million in sales. And let's say we have 100 million budget net spends, that could give us a 265 million budget plus the 100 million in wages saved just by getting these players out. You might be saying, where's Maguire, where's McTominay? I'm trying to be realistic. I would sell McTominay, but if Amrabat, Eriksson and Casemiro leaves, Man United might say we won't sell McTominay unless we get a 40 million bid, and maybe the most people bid is 30 million. Man United will sell one of Lindelof and Maguire because Varane is leaving, and I would rather sell Lindelof, but I am open to selling those players. You might be asking, where's Anthony? I'd sell Anthony in a heartbeat, but realistically, I don't think there's any interest in Anthony this summer, to be honest with you. It was said, and this was based off reports that we've had from Whitwell, Romano, Ornstein, and good journalists. This is based off what we've heard from Tier 1 journalists the last month, that there is Saudi interest in Casemiro. The priority is going to be selling Greenwood and Sancho. These players are set to leave on a free, as mentioned, Varane, Martial, Williams, Heaton, Amrabat. Man United will listen to offers for both Maguire and Lindelof, but they're only going to sell one because I assume Varane is leaving. Eriksen is likely to leave and not plans going forward. He's open to leaving. Wan-Bissaka, Mejbri, Belischi, Johnny, Alvaro Fernandez are expected to be up for sale. McTominay could be sold for the right offer. We know that Anthony, they're open to selling, but they don't know if they're going to get any offers for Anthony. So let's say United have, because they say we've got 100 million budget net spend, and Man United always underestimate the budget. So maybe we have 150 million budget net spend. And look, it's not FIFA. I don't think we're going to raise 165 million in sales, but I think we can raise 100 million in sales. So I think we could have 250 to 300 million to spend this summer, depending on how much we raise in sales. We're going to keep it to the 250 million pound mark. So we're going to go through potential signings United can make, 7 potential signings United can make this summer, which would be under 250 million pounds combined that United could make being realistic. Look, it's not FIFA. If we can sell all those players and make 200 million in sales and then go and spend 300 million this summer on 7 signings, brilliant. Get all these signings, brilliant. We're not in the Champions League. Players might not want to come to us. We've got, players might not want to buy our players because of ridiculous wages. There's got to be realism. But I want to break down what I do this summer, starting with the defence. I don't think about this. I love Branthwaite, but I think we need 2 defenders and I think we need a left back. So my first choice at defender is Todibo. One, our relationship with Nice, and he wants a Premier League move, could make this a bit easier. £35 million, bish, bash, bosh. What we know about Todibo is he's very good on the ball. Other than Martinez, we don't have players that are good on the ball. Whether it's Ten Hag, he wants someone that's good on the ball. Whether it's Tuchel, he'll want someone that's good on the ball. But what Todibo adds is someone that can defend wide channels, could play right back if needed as well. Because sometimes I worry about how he'd pair with Martinez because of the lack of, while he's tall, he's not great in the air, but he's someone that can defend wide channels, wide spaces, someone that's a little bit aggressive and maybe a bit similar to Martinez, but on the right side. But, very good athletically, very good 1v1, defends large spaces. United leave loads of large spaces for defenders to defend. I do think, while he's not the box defender that Branthwaite is, I think £35 million, value for money, you're not going to get a bit better option than this. Lukumi is a bit of a better box defender. He's a bit more physical. He's got very good anticipation, reading of the game. Looks like a really intelligent player. He's 2-footed, so he can play left centre-back and right centre-back. Normally plays as a central centre-back, but he's very good on the ball as well. And for £25 million, 25 years of age, experience, ready to come in, could be really, really good backup to Lisandro Martinez because he can't seem to stay fit for more than 10 minutes. He's like a breadstick at the moment. And then I've gone with the Bournemouth left back. Bournemouth have been quite good this season. They've actually been one of the better teams to watch. And Kirkes is 20 years of age. He's very, very young, but he's proven he can go. He looks good going forward. He looks good defensively. He looks very well-rounded. He looks like someone that could really be the understudy to Shaw to push him out. And of course, there is Harry Hamas coming through, who's expected to have heavy involvement in pre-season with the likes of Shea Lacey. But I think knowing how good he was signed him and the fact that he's played internationally, this could be the next top left back. And maybe he will be a little bit more than 30 million. I do apologise. We just got a bit of a lag spike there. So hopefully that comes through fine. He could be more than 30 million. And I don't think United are going to spend more than 25 million on a left back. So that's probably not super realistic. Robinson of Fulham's another one I'd look at. We have been linked to the Girona left back as well. But I do apologise if we just got a lag spike. Bringing me into midfield. Amadou Onana is all right. But sometimes I watch him and think, Bosh, you're perfect partner for Maino Bruno. Sometimes I watch him and think he's crap. He's too inconsistent for £55 million. I don't know if he's worth the risk. I'd rather go to Mats Wiefer. He could go to, of course, Liverpool. We've not been linked to Mats Wiefer loads, so I'm going for Fofana. £25 million reportedly because he's got 1 year left on his contract. He's a 6/8 hybrid. He can play as a 6, he can play as an 8. He's physically able and defensively good enough off the ball to play as a 6, but he's got the technical ability and passing ability and ability on the ball to play as an 8. He's obviously not as tall as Amadou Onana, but he's got that in him. £25 million, can read the game very well, would bring that much needed physical presence in midfield at 6 foot. I think he can stay back while Maynard pushes forward. I think as well, we play very transitional approach in football. He's very suited to transitional approach because he's good off the ball. He reads the game well. We can cover mass amounts of ground. He's athletically able to do what Eriksen and Casemiro can't do. Ten Hag wants to play a more intense style of football. Eriksen and Casemiro can't do that. He's also quite good on the ball. He's a good passer. He can progress the play. He can break lines. He brings all the elements of United need technically as well. And then I also think that we need 2 midfielders because Mount's not been particularly convincing and can't stay fit, and we could lose Eriksen, Amrabat and Casemiro, so we need at least 2. Now, I was thinking of Max and Kakare, I was thinking a little bit of João Gomez, Premier League proven, but I really like the look of Palacios, and I think as an Eriksen replacement, even though he's a bit of a 6, I say he's a bit more defensive than Eriksen, I think he could be good. He's not the most physical, but I think he's someone that is so brilliant on the ball, that is so able to play such an intense style of play, and I think he can cover some of United's weaknesses technically and intensity-wise. And I also think if you do bring in Thomas Tuchel, you want to move the ball quickly. He's the kind of guy, Thomas Tuchel likes those one-touch pass and move. He's really suited to that. And I think in terms... Oh, my thing just lagged out again. I hope that was all right. I hope it didn't lag out. I think in terms of like what we need in the midfield and being able to play a more expansive style of play, and the fact that Kobbie Mainoo is the only technical player we've got in midfield, having someone like Palacios means that we have a little bit more technical security as well. Bringing me into the attack, and I think the first one's got to be Elise. Goal and assist for Crystal Palace today versus Wolves. He absolutely cooked us when he played us last week. 22, right wing. He's Premier League proven. He's got 15 goal contributions to 13 starts. He's literally averaging a goal contribution every 70 minutes in the Premier League at the moment, or something crazy like that. He's a PL proven winger. He's past first winger when we've got carry first winger. So there's someone that's actually going to create for our striker. His IQ is so much better. His decision making is so much better. His vision, his general play, he can come centrally, is so much better and more of what we need. Good ball striker, can score free kicks, can create space, has the ball manipulation skills to create space for himself, is technically secure. He's brilliant. At least say for me. Apparently his release clause is £55 million. Some say it's £60 million. Go for him. I don't know if he wants to come to us. He is a United fan. I don't know if he want to come to us right now after the season we've had, but go for him. Then the second one is Xerxes. £35 million according to Florian Plettenberg. I think he'll be near 45 million. I think he will probably go Juventus. And then I would opt for Sesko's release clause if we can't get Xerxes. But why I like Xerxes is a bit more experienced than Sesko, and he can play striker, centre forward, second striker. He's more of a Firmino and Cuckoo, a Cunha type player, where he's not someone that is a goal scorer that needs service. He's someone that improves teams and can facilitate teams and drop deep. And I think the fact that we create no service for a striker and we can't get strikers involved in game, I think someone like Xerxes, he would be able to bring the best out of like a Garnacho and Elise is more of what we need. I think he's good competition for Højlund, but he could play with him. Højlund, he could play behind Højlund if we need to rest Bruno. He could play in those kind of roles. He can play as a 10, he can play as a second striker, he can play as a striker. He's 6'4", he's fast, he's physical, he can hold up the ball really well, link up play. But you know how, I'm going to describe this. Firmino brought the best out of Mane and Salah, and Mane and Salah got insane goals. I think he'd get the best out of Rashford. Rashford had that really good relationship with Martial, and I don't think he's got that relationship with Højlund. Not blaming Højlund for Rashford's bad form, but do you know what I'm saying? I think him with Rashford and Elise, wing either side, or Garnacho, he's the kind of guy that would let them hit the new levels and facilitate them as well. So yeah, that's my thoughts. Let me know your thoughts down below. Smash a like, smash a subscribe. See you next time. Bye.